So, today I was just going to talk about, what I think about education, part two. Now remember, this isn't just public, public schools or public education. Wait, do I have a, I'm sorry, do I have a lazy eye? I'm sorry. But anyways, this is also about just, just the education in general, like the whole structured system, whether it be public or private. I've heard private's better quality. I've been to private in, it was in kindergarten, the first grade, and I remembered it being pretty much the same or similar. I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound right or if I'm coughing during this video because I'm sick, or if I blink a lot because my eyes get dry. And also, bear with me now. But, uh, the other thing that I wanted to mention in this part two, and there's probably going to be at least a part three, but it's just that grades, just the whole concept of grades, and why I don't like it. Like, what do they say you're here to do when you go to school? What do they always say? You're here to learn. And then they'll go off and they'll say something along the lines of, oh, but you're also here to get into a good college, or you're here to get a good job and be successful, and they'll go off and all that jazz. But the thing I don't like about grades is that, to me, grades don't really mean anything. They don't really prove anything. They create like a false cause, and I really don't like it. And I don't like this idea that school, rather than being about learning or maybe telling you what you're going to need, it's more about determining whether or not you're going to make it. And that, in my opinion, is one of the major flaws, is this idea, and then, they get interlinked with the colleges, and they have all the honors, they have all the AP classes, they have all that, and it's all about pretty much kids just cramming all the work and getting the best grades and all the points they can so they can look their absolute best for a college so that they could be successful. And I don't like it. I don't like how school determines how successful you're going to be. I think it's better if a school teaches you what you need to know, and then you go and determine in the real world. And I feel like learning would be way easier then. First of all, there'd probably be then a lot less work. There'd be way less work or for students to do. Why? Because the students are trying to learn. If they, sorry, if they mess up, then they haven't really failed or lost anything. If they just delete all the records when they graduate, then they don't lose anything when they fail. And therefore, they're going to be more apt to actually want to learn this. They're going to say, oh, wow, this maybe is stuff that I'm actually going to need. And so, they'll actually go try to learn. They'll actually read the chapter rather than just copying the definitions in the back of the book or some stupid stuff like that, because it means they're actually would be there to learn. Whereas the way school is now is pretty much the students, for the most part, hardly anyone actually cares about learning. There are very few students who really care about learning, and most of the time when they do care about learning, it's either A, a special student, or B, it's an elective class. Because I've heard so many students say, and they've taken like an AP class, and they didn't remember anything. And that's so redundant to me. Like, it creates a system where the person who works the hardest is the one that does the best all the time. and that's not even true in real world. The person who works the hardest is not always the one who does the best. You know, it may be it may be a cruel truth, but it's a truth still the same. You know, and a lot of times it's better to be efficient. Now, if school really was just about learning what you needed to know, which in my opinion, you know, you learn what you want to know, what you're interested in, and what you need to know, but why should you learn anything else? You know, and school pretty much just makes you learn whatever they want to learn from their perspective, rather than the perspective that you need or that you want. You know, and it gets somewhat better with elective classes, but it's just a choice thing. And so, I think that's part of it, is because if school was about teaching you how to succeed rather than about giving you a grades or determining how well you're going to be, then there'd be no more need. I mean, school, the whole system would be gone, because it's all based on prestige. You see what I'm saying? It's just like driver's training. When you're in driver's training, you don't cram in tons and tons of work. You know, I've done driver's training courses, it's pretty easy. Alright, you don't the whole point in driver's training is they want to teach you how to drive a car, so that you can drive a car in the real world. You see what I'm saying? And I remember when I took the test for the first segment, basically the instructor said, you either pass or you fail. That's it. He didn't say that there were A's or B's or C's or D's or whatever. He said you pass or you fail. And that's it. And yeah, there is, again, determining factor, and for some career choices I think that there needs to be some determining factor, but you know, the whole minor level of schooling these days is pretty pointless when you look at it like this. Like, it really wants to teach you how to drive a car so you won't crash, rather than just giving you like a bunch of work and determining whether you're good enough or not, and even though you probably forget it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the main thing that I definitely do not like about school. And then that goes into the whole ideas of what's that word I'm looking for, when they help minorities get into colleges. I can't remember what the word is. Affirmative action, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with affirmative action. They help, you know, other people get into the colleges and stuff. And it's like, well, why? You know, the whole thing would be pointless otherwise, because these people would be learning how to work for themselves. And that, again, would lead into the priorities. Like, do they prioritize teaching the students information? Do they prioritize brainwashing them? What do schools really want? Do they really want to teach you to be successful? Do they want to try and determine who should be successful and who shouldn't? Which is why I hate it, because it's such a biased, one-sided system. I think people should determine whether they're successful or not some dumb quiz. And not structured education, which I don't like the kind of structure we have. And if there does need to be a structure, I believe that the market will demand for a much more efficient structure than we have now. And no, I don't think universities that get people in debt for their entire life only to still need government to fund them is efficient. And, well, that's all for this video. I think next video I'll probably talk about the priorities that education sets up. Well, thanks for watching, and Auf Wiedersehen.